It's hard being right sometimes, but once again, we predicted this. Hi, I'm Rob.
And I'm also Rob, movie Rob, uncut Rob, whatever
Yes,
way to
he is.
differentiate those two.
He is uncut Rob, and that just put a weird connotation in my head. No, I hate you sometimes.
It's the uncircumcised Rob. It's
Oh,
it's
he said it.
however
He
you want to
said it.
word it. It's
Oh,
the
he
it's the
said it.
it's the
He said it.
it's the comedy circuit version of Rob where he says all the
Oh,
jokes. He just goes over that line. He just doesn't care about decency. He's there. He's uncut Rob.
oh, oh.
We've all got our side personas, and he's mine.
Oh.
But you said at the intro,
Yeah,
it's hard
yeah,
being right sometimes.
it is hard being right sometimes. So back many, many episodes ago. Well, not that many episodes ago, but quite a few episodes ago. We were
Which means it's like
talking,
a
you
few
and I.
years ago. So
Yeah.
just to
You and
contextualize it time wise.
yeah. You and I were talking about the future of consoles. And at the end of that episode, we posited two things, right? Two things. We posited that the future of consoles was either going to be a mobile desktop or a console based PC. And both
Yes.
things that we posited came to be. The first one being the Steam Deck, and the second one being Steam's recent announcement of the new Steam machine. Now, the Steam machine already existed when we did that episode, but it wasn't that great and people didn't see a future for it. And there were also kind of variations of this whole console based PC type thing. I think Razer had one as well.
Yeah.
But Steam's announcement a couple of days ago of their VR system, the Steam Frame, and the new Steam machine and the new Steam controller, please come up with a better name than Steam Machine and Steam Controller because I get confused now. Because when I Google Steam Machine and Steam Controller, I get the old ones.
Well,
But
yeah. Yeah.
and seriously, they missed out on a trick. Everyone's been calling the new Steam Machine because it's a cube. They've been calling it the Gabe Cube, which I love. The name of it. Someone even on GitHub came up with the opening animation for the GameCube, but changed it so it just says Gabe Cube as well.
Yeah, that's cute.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm loving the idea of this because number one, our predictions came true. And number two, it's a big, big, big moment for Sony, Nintendo, and Microsoft to literally shit themselves.
Just not to sort of blow steam up our ass, but we're quite good at predicting things getting ahead of people.
Exactly.
Because another episode that we got coming up is basically Hollywood's kind of done,
Yeah.
and yeah, called that a few years ago. So
Yeah,
it's
we did.
this is burden. This burden we have.
I know. And that's the stupid part. I mean, I'm not saying okay, we've been doing the Geek Show for like 15 years now, so
It's
um
been sporadic, I don't know, for the past 5, but yeah.
I mean, not the show itself, but the actual everything around it as well. We've been
Oh
doing for
yeah,
about
yeah,
15 years.
yeah.
So while the show itself has been sporadic, everything around the Geek Show has still been running. Um, and so we still know all the people that we knew. We still, have contacts with all of the industry people that we knew back then. We still talk to a lot of people. We still, watch a lot of events and go to several events as well. But with all of that, we've had things in our lives that have prevented us knuckling down and doing the Geek Show as a thing.
Hmm.
So we've had to focus on other things, like making a film, which is what the other episode is about. We made a
Yeah, well,
film.
the previous one, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, whenever
Uh,
this drops, the
yeah, the previous episode.
timelines are a funny thing.
But yeah, Steam, of all the companies that I thought were going to come up with uh game changing um game changing video game technology, I didn't think it was going to be Valve.
Yeah, because there was sort of talk of it being Amazon for a little while.
Yeah, and Google
But
was
I mean,
trying stuff.
Amazon had the power and
Yeah,
the influence and the finances to do it.
yeah,
Google did
and
too, but apparently it takes more than just financial clout to do
yeah.
it.
I mean,
And
Amazon is
apparently, also, only three are allowed at once.
yeah. Amazon is still
It's
knuckling
like
down
Asian
on their loot,
comedians
I
on the
think.
BBC. There's only one allowed. And when he's finished, we'll find a new one to replace him. And it's one in, one out. So it's
Have you seen the thing that they're doing now? They're doing this comic fight. I saw an advert for it on You and Dave.
yeah. Also, by the
Uh,
way, that is true. It's the same with black comedians on the BBC. They'll have one, then he'll retire, and then they'll find a new one, and there's only ever one, and he's on everything.
yeah,
It's the same in video games. There's always three, because going back, there was three: Sony, Sega, Nintendo. Sega
then
went kaputski.
yeah,
Microsoft jumped in. Nintendo doing the business, Sony doing the business, and that third one, oh, it's like a poison chalice, maybe.
well,
Because now Microsoft have basically they did really badly, but in the case of, I think the third seat is almost sort of self-inflicted, because Sega inflicted their own downfall by basically saying, "Oh, we're going to do all of the peripherals and all of the devices and all of the sort of machine
yeah,
variables," and
it was
they
the
tanked it.
it was the Genesis or Mega Drive, whatever you want to call it. But going from there, I mean that tower of power that brings back horribly nostalgic memories because
Yeah.
everybody wanted the tower of power because it was just like this Frankenstein console
It's the
of a
most
thing.
1990s name for anything I ever heard.
Exactly,
But
but I mean, it was you had the Sega Mega Drive or Genesis, depending on which country you were in. Then you had the Sega CD attachment for that. Then on top of that, you had the 32X on top
hmm,
of that,
they spread
and they just
themselves
like
way too thin, and they basically bankrupt themselves and became a
yeah,
third party publisher. In the case of Microsoft, they've not bankrupt themselves because they're going to be, I think they're one of the few $1 trillion companies on the planet.
yeah.
It's just they've stupidity themselves.
Oh
And
God, yes,
it goes back to Don Matrick. He basically ended Xbox. They just didn't know it yet, but
yeah,
he was the one who basically set those wheels in motion.
yeah. I mean,
And yeah, and the sort of the result of that motion is where we are now, where you get Xbox stalwarts on PlayStation, like Forza and Gears of War and Halo,
Halo's a big one,
and
isn't it?
like so that third seat has opened again,
Hmm.
and it's a paradigm shift as far as the console goes, I guess.
Well, I mean, it comes back to actually, we did have a third prediction that's relevant to this. But this is a much older prediction, which I've just remembered. Um, we concluded, and it wasn't in that console episode. It was several years before then. We actually concluded that the consoles didn't matter. It didn't matter which console you had because ultimately PC was going to win.
Mm, yeah.
And I still think that's the case. And I think this is kind of a big shot across the bows of console manufacturers.
I mean, just to sort of explain why it's so important, at least to someone like me who's kind of a lapsed gamer at this point in time, pushed out
Yeah,
of the gaming industry because of what the AAA gaming industry especially has become. But that's
yeah,
another conversation for another point, another episode like this, I guess.
mm,
The reason why I was so reluctant for so long, and many people like me are so reluctant for so long about PC gaming, is they say the PC as this sort of you sat on at a desk and you're typing away, answering emails, you're doing your work,
yeah,
and then you don't want to sit back down there and then play video games. It's like you need that separation from work and play.
yeah,
So if there was a way to play PC games on my TV away from all of that, you'd be like,
yeah,
sorted. Best
yeah,
solution.
exactly.
And they've done that.
we'll talk about like the actual technology in a little bit, but we're not going to go into detail because there's plenty of other videos covering all of that stuff. But
Hmm.
I'm just going to say, right, the Steam Deck, which I've got mine conveniently just over here. So the nice thing about the Steam Deck was that it made it easy for me, say, to basically pick up this and go anywhere with it and play, right? But I could play it on any monitor, just with one of those little dongle things, plug it in, HDMI cable into the monitor, and then I've got it. And I think that's one of the best things that Steam have done, that Valve have done. Sorry, not Steam. I keep calling them Steam, but they are actually Valve. One of the best things that Valve did was on this they had their Steam OS type thing, which is a version of Linux. It's a fork of Linux
Yes.
based on Proton, I think it is. Now, I'm not as
Hmm.
technically minded with regards to the software in this, but the best thing about it is that it has that big picture mode, so it is very much like a launcher on the PlayStation or on Nintendo or on the Xbox. And
Hmm.
so you basically go through the Steam store and stuff like that in your library on Steam, but it's all like big picture, so it could all be done with a controller. You don't need a mouse and keyboard. And I think that's one of the best things about what they've done, and that's going to be on the new Steam machine as well.
Yeah. In essence.
Yeah. And I think that was one of the big turning points was when Valve focused on that because Steam OS has basically been turning a few heads when it comes to the whole PC gaming side of things. There are a few people who are waiting for Steam to basically knuckle down with the operating system so they can actually install it on PCs and have like a full on PC with running Steam OS and not Windows,
I
which is
mean, as
going to
far
be a
as
big,
like a disruptor brand,
yeah,
Steam are the most, or Valve are the most likely to do it.
yeah, absolutely. Um, and it'll be the one with the biggest uptake. I know Google have Chrome and stuff like that, but
Yeah, the difference is Valve doesn't sell your information to the highest bidder to make itself a
well,
multinational organization.
that we know of. Let's be fair.
If they do, it's not as insidious as what Google do.
Yeah, I think Valve would be a lot more open about it. They'd say, "Can we sell your information?" Rather than
Yeah,
"We're going to use your information for this and this and this and this. Please tick this box."
yeah, yeah. But I think going back to that box in the TV and for the TV makes it
Yeah.
so important because that is a huge deal for a lot of people.
Oh yeah,
That
absolutely.
separation from work and play, they need
Yeah.
that sort of space.
I
And that's
just
why the whole that's why consoles
yeah.
basically started in the first place.
Well, just to give everyone some kind of context here, right? Especially the people who don't quite get the argument that you're making here. I spent years trying to get Rob to play games on PC, and he's always resisted because he wants that separation. He works at a PC. He doesn't want to be sitting there at the PC playing games because that's then feeling like work.
An
And
added caveat to that is
yeah,
if you spend too long in front of, I mean, office workers will get this, but if you
yeah,
spend too long in front of a monitor, the headaches, man,
yeah,
the headaches it will give you are horrific.
yeah. I mean, it's the
So you
one of
don't
them
want
is
that.
the
You don't want to do that to yourself.
yeah, one of them is the blue light thing that they talk about. The other one is just the backlight from the monitor itself. But, I grew up with things like the ZX Spectrum, the Commodore 64, stuff like that. So for me, it's a
Hmm.
different approach. I grew up with consoles and with these little computers, actual computers that were also, games machines. So from
Hmm.
my perspective, I don't see the difference between a PC and a console, which is a big kind of difference between how we perceive things. Because I could easily sit there with, I could easily game on my PC, the same PC that I've been working at, because for me there is no difference. But that is my experience growing up with these computer-based video game machines. You know,
Yes.
Commodore 64, Commodore Amiga, ZX Spectrum. things like that. But that again, because if you've only ever had a console, then making that transition is difficult. You don't really see it in the same way.
Yeah. And also, there's just to go to the specs because I think we have to direct it that way because we want to keep these episodes quite sprightly
Yeah,
and to the
yeah,
point.
yeah,
But there's a lot of people who are in the console space who are all about sort of the 4K specs and chasing this amazing sort of fidelity and frame rate and what have you.
yeah,
And honestly, I don't think that's the market. And because the Steam machine is sort of more entry level targeted, that's clearly not what Steam are doing. I think it's very shrewd what Steam are doing, actually. One, I think that by making it sort of entry level, making it, I'm not saying it will be affordable, but they're making it possible to be more affordable than sort of, I don't know, like £1,000 PC or something.
Well, you say that. The only thing I will say is that we still don't know what the actual pricing is.
No,
There was a
we don't. But the point is, though, it's
yeah,
making it accessible, making it just, it's there, it's done, you can plug it in and play.
yeah,
Entry level and PC basically means there's very, very little you can't play. It's
yeah,
not like you play a game on a PlayStation 5 Pro and a
yeah,
game works, but if you play it on the PlayStation 5, it doesn't.
yeah.
With
I
PC, it's kind of like the best of both worlds. With PC, there's no such thing as a game that won't play. You can downscale it, like,
yeah.
and it'll be functional on pretty much most things. There's exceptions to
Well,
that, obviously, but
yeah, and there's the other side of things as well. In that
so it's quite
with a bit,
shrewd.
yeah,
It's very
there's
shrewd in sort of like covering both ends of the market, really.
oh yeah, but there's the other thing about PCs as well. Emulation is a big thing, especially
Mm.
on things like the Steam Deck, and it will be with this as well with the new Steam machine, and it's got the power for it. I mean, just some of the basic specs. Okay, you got 512 gigabytes of storage or 2 terabytes. You got 16 gig of DDR5 RAM. I'm not going to go in. It's got a dedicated GPU and ARM processor. It's got a pretty good processor, AMD Zen 4 6C, which I have no idea what that is. I don't deal with processors. I deal with the whole thing. If you want
Mm.
more information on the processors and all of that stuff, there are dedicated channels, Linus Tech Tips, Jay's Two Cents, all those channels like that you can look
Yeah,
at, and they will give
but
you all the information you need on that front.
the general idea is people, the general gamer doesn't chase specs.
Yeah,
They just want something that'll start and play the game that they want to play.
yeah. I mean, one thing with
And
this,
having that PC in the home space that will
yeah,
play pretty much most things, it's very small form factor.
I was about to
It's
say that's literally what I
it's
was about to say. It's
very
about half the size of a
very
Series X.
accessible. Yeah,
Yeah,
so it's not going after the hardcore gamer, and I think
no,
that's the smartest thing that they're doing. They're sort of with this and the marketing being very sort of playful, very sort of light and airy, and sort of like
yeah,
the Fallout videos with Pip-Boy. It has that sort of
yeah,
vibe to it. It's making it, it's destigmatizing it from the whole sort of PC master race. I know that's not really as big a thing as people claim it to be, but they're kind of destigmatizing it from the whole PC gaming is a serious game, a serious business,
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah. I mean,
they're making
I
it they're making it accessible, which is the smartest marketing decision they could do. And this could be a very dangerous machine for Sony and Nintendo.
oh, I pretty much guarantee that it is going to be a dangerous machine for them. And the Steam Deck, on its own, created a new category of PC. Oh, sorry, popularized it, not created it. Handheld PCs had existed for a while. Handheld games machines. We had the PS Vita, PSP, the Nintendo Switch. The Game Boy. All of those things. What was it? The Nintendo DS. We had all those things before then. But then the Steam Deck comes around, and it's basically the power of a PC in the palm of your hand, the power of a desktop PC in the palm of your hand. That's a big game changer, and that then created this whole new realm of PCs, which people hadn't really thought about properly. They
Yeah,
existed, but nobody
people
had
want just
actually.
plug in and play. Like
Yeah,
a handheld is plug in and play.
yeah,
A, a PC with the convenience of a console is plug in and
yeah,
play. And I'm not saying
exactly.
people are lazy, but people are lazy at the same time because they have busy lives and they don't want to have to
Yeah,
deal with the sort of the chasing tech
yeah, yeah,
that PC
exactly.
gaming requires. They just want turn it on. Is it going to play the game that I want to play? Sorted.
Yeah,
Does it
exactly.
have like? Is it one of the best sort of systems for gaming? Steam, where you get pretty
Oh,
much everything on there.
I'll tell you, right? This
Probably,
is
yeah.
not.
So
Thing is, what you said about marketing and what you said about being entry level. This is not the best handheld PC, not by a long way, right? But is it affordable? Yes. Is it easy to use? Yes. Now this is the first generation. First generation, I think it's 512 gigabyte one of the Steam Deck. But you know what? I didn't bother with the OLED version because I didn't see why I needed to get an OLED because I wasn't interested in that. It does exactly what I want. It plays the games that I want. That's good enough for me. I
yeah,
don't
because
need.
what we're experiencing now, I think, just going off the back of that,
Yeah,
it's the graphics will obviously get better. I mean, they
yeah,
said in the PlayStation 3 or whatever, can graphics get any better than this? And yes, they could.
yeah,
But we've got to this point now where any further and it's basically photorealism.
yeah. And what's the point?
So I think once that's plateaued, the only real place it can go without the price of these machines going into the thousands is to just create an accessible price point with an accessible device that will allow you to do most things.
Yeah, and
And
that's exactly what.
that's what Steam are doing, and they're very
Well, yeah,
Valve are doing. That's very clever, and Sony in
yeah,
particular, who like they were talking about you should pay attention to how much the Pro version is because that'll tell you how much the next iteration is. And I
yeah,
think the PlayStation 5 Pro was 650 quid,
yeah.
700 quid, something like that.
700 quid, I think it was.
So that's telling you how much the PlayStation 6 is going to be
Yeah, I mean,
and how where that trend is heading. And the
yeah,
fact that they all want to charge £70 plus for games, Microsoft were looking at £80.
yeah,
So this is the trend that the industry is going in.
yeah.
So like Steam and Valve with their marketing saying using very accessible sort of terms and a very accessible visual language is very clever. And
I
I
mean,
think
there's one.
they have a lot to be worried about with
Oh
Steam
yeah, I mean, there's
or the
one
Steam
part that
machine.
we haven't. There's one part of the Steam machine. Well, of Valve's announcements we haven't really touched on yet. Well, two parts, kind of. First part is obviously the thing that goes with the console, which is the
The
controller.
controller.
Okay, now the controller, it's kind of modeled on this on the Steam Deck. So basically, it's got like these pads, two thumbsticks, stuff like that. Very different to the original Steam controller, which I also have one of right here. So
Yes.
yeah, this is the old Steam controller, and as you can see, one thumbstick. Loads of people found this difficult to use, which is why it never took off. But I kind of love it for these, the haptic stuff.
The nubbins.
And it was a big game changer when you're using it, especially when you're a PC gamer. It it can replace certain functionality of the mouse and keyboard, but there's a limitation to it as well. But the new one, it's kind of like the Steam Deck, but with the screen removed. So it's kind of like that, and they're a little bit reorganized, and apparently it's quite girthy as well. But it's compatible with like pretty much everything.
Hmm. And then the
So
other one was the Steam Frame,
yes, the
which
frame,
is
the
a
VR system.
VR headset which can play non VR things through that by
Yeah.
using the sort of technology that the I think the Apple screen thing did, where it can basically project the screen in monitor
Oh yeah,
for you.
yeah, yeah. But the other thing about the Steam frame as well is the streaming technology that it uses. Apparently, it adjusts the bit rate of whatever you're seeing, so that
Whatever your eyes are focusing on, that's where it'll
yeah,
be most concentrated. So
yeah,
the other bits will be more out of focus and
yeah.
more
So it's like,
blurred.
and that's one of the reasons why they went with kind of rather than using OLEDs and stuff like that. Because I mean, apparently the Steam frame has a built-in computer on it. You're like, well, hang on. So you're saying this is a completely mobile VR system
It's
because
very
it's got a
economical.
computer built in? Yeah, very economical because of that. Because one thing that Valve were conscious of was how much power is it using? Because if you want to put OLED in there, if you want to do this, if you want to do that, you're gonna have to. You need like you remember the old pictures you've seen of the old phones, of the old mobile phones from the 1980s, where they have like a shoulder bag, a satchel that's just batteries.
Yeah,
You need something like that if you wanted like all of the bells and whistles with the Steam
yeah.
frame. And
But
the fact that you
I
don't
think
need that,
this episode is more about the Steam Machine. I think because that is
yeah, that's the
a
real
real
shot across the bows.
yeah.
That's the real danger to because I mean there's no point in even mentioning Microsoft. Okay, they've got their handheld console, the Asus was it a ROG Ally X, whatever it's called.
Well, it's named like an
Uh,
anime spin-off movie. It's got like
Yeah,
7 subtitles.
exactly. And that's the closest. And Microsoft are promising a new console. They are saying, yes, there is going to be another Xbox
But there's
in the same
literally
way
no
that's,
point in buying it. They basically admitted that themselves.
yeah, I was about to say, they've also said, yeah, because we're focusing more on Game Pass, there's really no point in buying the other console because everything's going to be available on everything else.
Yeah.
And
So
Sony, I
Steam
reckon,
is
will go
going
the
to
same
take
way.
that third spot as the third platform holder.
Well, I think Sony are heading the same way as well because, and we will know this, there will be something that Sony do, right? And if Sony do this, then I reckon that the prospects of a PlayStation 6 will be lowered. And if they do one
It's
thing,
already in development.
it's already in development. When I say lowered, I mean by prospects, I don't mean that they won't release it. I mean that their expectations of it will be lowered
Oh
in
yeah,
terms of how it performs.
I think everything peaked with PlayStation 2, and everything's been a downscale since that. The PlayStation 4 was a surprise success, but
Yeah,
it's been
but if
skewing downwards.
but there is one thing: if Sony do this, and I'm not predicting this, but I do think they are working on it, probably in the background, and I reckon they will come out with it themselves. See, Sony they've been found to have somebody's basically put out a thing about an upcoming Sony game that has crossplay, but the game itself is supposed to be a Sony exclusive. So, why would it have crossplay if it's Sony exclusive? So the theory is, or one of the current theories is that Sony are working on a launcher for PC.
Yeah,
Now,
that's just what the world needs, another launcher.
yeah, but the thing is, if Sony are working on a launcher for PC, then that means Sony are looking at putting their games on PC under their own brand, not on Steam, not on Epic Game Store, but under their own launcher, just like Ubisoft did with Origin,
And EA.
and EA. Sorry, was it EA with Origin and
I don't know
Ubisoft?
what
I
they're
can't
called.
remember which
EA
one's which.
did one, Ubisoft have one, Epic
Yeah,
have one.
yeah, but under their own launcher, And this is the thing: if Sony have always resisted doing that. They've never had their own PC based launcher, and if they do that, then I reckon
It's
their
impossible. Yeah. I mean, sorry, the prospects look like, the prospects of the PS6 are much less than the PS5.
yeah.
But at the same time, I think trying to compete with Steam is a stupid decision.
I don't think they're going to be competing with Steam. I think that what they'll
No,
do,
but trying to compete with Steam is in go into a marketplace which they basically have total domination.
yeah,
It's basically kind of trying to have their cake and eat it by carving off this little corner,
yeah,
and
but
people are
if
kind of
they,
tired of all of the launches. They just want
yeah,
it all streamlined.
but this is the thing: if they do their own launcher and they've got crossplay, if they do that, then that justifies you buying a PlayStation 6 because you could then have the launcher on on your PC or on your handheld PC. If you got like a Legion Go or an Asus ROG Ally, whatever, and you've got the Sony launcher on there, you could basically then play the game from your console on your thing as with the crossplay from the PlayStation launcher, and then it justifies you having it. And that's what I'm saying. That's a way that Sony have an in. They're not going to
Yeah,
challenge Valve and Steam, but they could at least become the third player, because right now the third player is Game Pass.
yeah. So I think that wraps this, because this is one of these conversations that sort of span
Yeah,
out.
there's a lot we could have gone over in this, and we haven't. Like I said, the specs for the Steam machine, but I don't think they're necessary because loads of other channels are covering those. And if you really want to know the specs, then you can check those out. They're easy to Google as well. But
Yeah,
I think for us, we want to put our thoughts across, and on this and on what it means for the future.
yeah. But I think the ultimate thing is that the third platform holder is now Valve,
Yeah.
and yeah, Sony especially should be worried.
Oh yeah.
So that's it for this week in this episode of the Geek Show. Check out some of the other stuff we do. Follow us on social media on Instagram, Blue Sky, Facebook. Although Facebook is just meme and basically rage bait posts. Same way Twitter is. It's just rage bait posts
Yep.
and first traps. It's ooh. So if you want to keep up to date with us, Blue Sky and Instagram, I think are the best places, really. But yeah, until next time with a Geek Show, I've been Rob. He's also been Rob, and
Yes.
thanks for watching. Please do click like and subscribe, and put a comment down below, and we'll try and respond to it in the way that it needs to be responded to. Be reporting you to the police if it's naughty language, though. Until next time, though. Yeah, thanks for watching.
See you later.